got dudes in the seat that they would be glad to go ahead and slide over for that man to walk.
You and I talk about this often when everyone wants to get a better quarterback or a better coach. It's like it's cold out there for these other teams. Like right now, those teams who have been 2 decades without having significant success, you're looking at a coach who just came off of 2 decades, multiple systems of just
winning.
Can I add one more? Kevin Stefanski
success.
was the belle of the ball yesterday morning. When I say that, I mean, I talked to all these teams, and they're like,
more bell.
Stefanski's number one. And that could be Vegas, that could be Tennessee, that could be Atlanta, that could be the Giants, who he's meeting with today. John Harbaugh jumps over Stefanski and is now probably that guy.
Yes, the slipper fits him better than it fits Stefanski, but we'll see what happens. And then there's a whole other name that maybe needs to be in this mix. Our new colleague, who's also our old colleague, and our buddy Rich Eisen, on his show yesterday, thinking about the open Las Vegas Raiders job, had this idea.
If I'm Mark Davis,
50-50.
the first person I call, and I understand this would be out of the ordinary, and I understand I might be stirring something up that doesn't exist, but I want to find out. I find out the phone number of Curt Cignetti, and I call him up, and I say, listen, I don't mean to disturb you. That's the first way I would say.
Excuse me, sir.
But I've Googled you. I have Googled your work.
I've done this, you asked.
Google me.
I don't know if you're aware, but we hold the first overall pick in the draft.
Really?
And you've got a Heisman-Doza quarterback that we're kind of interested in.
So I'm old enough to remember when we were talking about, will Dion and Shador wind up going somewhere together? Not so much in that they're father and son, but in that case that they're coach and quarterback. Now here you have a situation, Raiders, first pick. You can make it Mendoza, and you can bring his coach. What do we think?
Listen, I like it. I like Cignetti, but the Hoosiers are going to hate me because, I mean, obviously.
Don't worry about them.
The Colts had, I mean, there's a lot of people who could, call Cignetti. The guy has done a phenomenal job. The question is, can you pull him from what he's doing right now? That would be, but I'm with Rich. I would make that call. And if other teams have not, shame on them. I'll be dead on. The guy, you look at the foundation that he builds his team on, and Mendoza deserves all the accolades he's getting. Don't miss the forest for the trees. Their O-line, D-line has been phenomenal since he's gotten there. And he's gotten guys from JMU. These aren't first-round pedigree. These are grinders.
Yeah, they're not five-star players.
And this dude understands how to get the most out of the least. That's what you're looking for in the NFL. You can't draft all first-rounders. There's got to be dudes like me who are, inept physically that you can go be something, right? I blush. But you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Rich is spot on. Except he has one major flaw in this whole thing, and it's a big one. It shouldn't just be the Raiders calling Cignetti. It should be every team with an opening. This guy is Tom Coughlin and Rex Ryan combined. Yeah. He's got the discipline, and they don't make mistakes, and he's also got the bluster and that bravado that Rex had. He's a dream. The buyout would be enormous. But I'm not going to dismiss this idea. In fact, I'd be disappointed if teams didn't call on Cignetti.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fair to, given the success that he has, to have that conversation. But we all know that what it takes to be a successful college coach is not always what it takes to be successful in the NFL. I think the point that you're making about getting the best out of players, the important part, and Jeff and I talk about this often, is you can hire offensive coordinator, you can hire defensive coordinator, you can hire special teams coach. But being the head coach of the team is something different. And that's the part that I think is most attractive about Curt Cignetti. It's when he speaks. And it might just be now because he's winning. Maybe it's different when things aren't going well. But when he speaks, you're like, oh, yeah. I get it. Immediately, I get it. That's the hardest thing, I think, is to, especially for people who haven't played, to connect with players in the locker room. It doesn't take much. Authenticity is all it takes.
That's right.
Be honest about your flaws. Be honest about your strategy. Be honest about where you need help. And players will buy in. Be honest about we all do better if we all aim at the same thing. That's the hardest thing because I think coaches have insecurities and they walk in and they say, I have all the answers. Follow me. They yell and they scream, but it's not going to work.
Bobby Petrino got hired from college. Cliff Kingsbury got fired by Texas Tech and was the head coach of the Cardinals the next year.
That's right.
This is not a crazy idea.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, this is no different than Marcus Freeman at Notre Dame, right? And I know he already said nope, but you're in the same realm, man. This guy has been really good these last couple of years. Why not? I would definitely.
College coaching is, I don't know if I want to say it's become more like the NFL now. It's sort of become unlike anything that we've ever seen before. It's certainly not a crazy idea. We'll see. So we got Lane Kiffin in one place. Now we got all of a sudden the Curt Cignetti speculation in another. And we have the Ravens, and one that will be remembered for some very high highs and then some heartbreaking defeats. The last 3 years, the AFC Championship game of 23 is the Zay Flowers fumble, and the Ravens wind up losing 17-10 at home to Kansas City. That was one of the turning point plays. And then you fast forward a year, last year, divisional playoff in Buffalo. They gave that game away so many different times, most particularly on this game-tying two-point conversion that Mark Andrews dropped, but they had fumbles early in the game, so many opportunities to win, in which they appeared to be the better team. And now this year, they appear to be the better team against Pittsburgh, too. And then Tyler Loop, who hadn't missed a field goal under 50 yards the entire season, is wide right on that 44-yard attempt on the last play of the year, and it winds up costing them the playoffs. And ultimately, I guess it winds up costing John Harbaugh his job. And if you're just joining us, Peter did an outstanding and thorough job at the beginning, kind of going through the details of how we got to where we are yesterday. And so now let's talk about John Harbaugh. He immediately becomes the belle of the ball, right? There's all these openings. Shefty tweeted yesterday that his agent has gotten more phone calls than there currently are openings in the NFL.
Yeah, so Brian Harlan is his agent, Kevin Harlan's brother, and used to work for the Packers. And Brian's one of the best agents in this world as far as coaching goes. And his message to Shefty was that there are teams that have coaches that are inquiring about Harbaugh. I will tell you that I have had multiple teams and multiple sources reach out to me and say, Harbaugh, do you think he would? Yes. He's going to be the belle of the ball now. And he immediately jumps the list over everybody else on this list because of what he brings. He's a culture guy. He is special in that he can coach both offense, defense, and special teams and looks to be the CEO of a team. Now, the question is, what does John Harbaugh want to do? Does he want to jump right back into this? He's getting paid out by the Ravens still. Does he want to take a year and watch from afar and see what else is out there? I would imagine, and the Giants are one team I would circle, they're going to start setting up interviews for John Harbaugh. And then next week, John Harbaugh will be meeting with the New York Football Giants, and that thing will get in place because the Giants right now, I can tell you, had dinner with Kevin Stefanski last night, and Kevin Stefanski will be meeting with the Giants today. Mike McCarthy, which is something that Adam reported earlier today, is set for Tuesday to meet with the Giants. So what does that tell you? The Giants are looking for an established head coach with a Super Bowl pedigree, or at least something like Stefanski, who has been there, done that, and coached before. Those would be the top three names I would look for that Giants.
If you're John Harbaugh and you're thinking about the places that are realistically open, I'm including, I guess, places you think they might make a change. But of all the places that you think he could realistically, if his number one goal is to win the championship, which we assume it is, where would you want to go?
Probably the Falcons. I mean, listen, you look at what they did. They won 4 in a row at the end of this season. I know they're going to have a quarterback decision to make, whether Penix can come back and whether he's your guy or not. But they have 2 great backs, a good offensive line, great receivers, good tight end, good defense. Like, you look around, that team is, as you're walking, I would have told you that was the best job available before the Ravens.
Right.
And also, you're in a division that's winnable. Like, we always talk about the Super Bowl, but the key to this thing is
home
winning.
Playoff game.
Home playoff games. Division championships get you home playoff games, will get fans happy, and there's no, and especially in an area that there hasn't been consistent winning, that there's not the pressure of having to win right that second. He's got time to kind of develop.
Can I quickly just add, 83-year-old owner Arthur Blank, he wants nothing more than to win one.
Oh, that's a great point.
Wants nothing more. So the urgency to bring a John Harbaugh would rise to the top.
As you asked the question, I'm thinking about the most attractive place. The thing that I think back to the Sean Payton hire, where you looked at that job and it didn't look like a great job.
The Denver job.
Yeah, the Denver job. It didn't look like a great job. It's a tough division with Patrick Mahomes, and they had all that dead cap money.
Yep.
But the thing is, when you're a coach like Sean Payton or a coach like John Harbaugh, you have such credibility that going to the place that you feel like is closest to winning the Super Bowl may not be the move. Like, there's no rush for John Harbaugh. He has the credibility. A first-year head coach is like, all right, I got to prove it to them immediately. Give me somewhere with talent. A coach like John Harbaugh could say, I want to build this up in my image. Like, I don't want to adopt what Terry Fontenot built down there. I want to build this up the way I want. Trust me. You know I know what I'm doing. Give me 4 years. We're going to scrap this and start it over and build it up. So the most attractive job for him is, to me, may not be the team with the players. It's the place where you have an owner who's going to commit to you and pay.
That's a fact.
Yeah,
no
the
general
Falcons
manager,
that too.
no head coach.
Yeah.
A motivated, to Peter's point, a very motivated owner.
The no GM is a big one because I think there's a lot of GMs around the league right now who have vacancies who just got nervous.
Right.
When John Harbaugh shows up, he's not coming.
He's the voice of the building.
Yeah.
But just parenthetically, if he went to the Raiders, he would be coaching against his brother twice a year. I don't think that's an expectation, but it is certainly one of the sort of interesting possibilities. The Giants are an interesting one, as Peter mentions, because it's not a total. You have some of the building blocks.
Yeah.
I mean, you're starting from a terrible place. They've been awful the last couple of years as far as their record, but they do seem to have some of the pieces in place. I guess if I'm a coach, if I'm John Harbaugh, and I assess Jackson Dart as someone I like,
that's it.
I think that's a pretty attractive job.
That's the question, right? But if you're on the fence at all about that, then I don't know that you go there.
Right.
Because I think that you're committed to Jackson Dart right now if you go to that position. You have a draft pick that you can trade and do stuff and build stuff around. So I think that's the big question there. In each different spot, there's a different big question. And sometimes the uncertainty feels like more promising. It's like, all right.
The selling point for the Giants would be not only Dart, Neighbors.
That's right.
A left tackle in Andrew Thomas, who everyone pretty much says is a real player, and that defensive front where Harbaugh come in. And there's also, you walk in those hallways, there are 4 Lombardi trophies lining those walls. So there is an appeal to the Giants. That said, this is not the same Giants the last 5 years. It is not the same team that it was.
When you start talking about, like, the coolest part about John Harbaugh, in my opinion, is he's won it with Flacco. He's been successful for Lamar. So you're not tied into a style for John Harbaugh, which makes him unique, right? Is he can kind of morph into whatever he needs to be for that organization to be successful. People buy into that. So whether it's Jackson Dart, and I'm just using Kirk Cousins because he's still on the Falcons right now, but probably won't be for long. But Kirk Cousins, he's been successful with both, right? So he's not pigeonholed into being a certain style. He can, and to your point, he can make whatever change is necessary, and people are comfortable because he's done it. He's revamped his defense. He's revamped his offense. Like, he's done all those things. And he's won, man. I mean, winning 186 games in 2 success. I mean, that's insanity.
Let's also assess the uncomfortableness of being an current NFL head coach.